Penultimate event here from Kalgoorlie, race number 6, and our man Riley Morgan is seeing them like beach balls. He's tipped the quaddie so far, a $7 winner in race 4 and a $4.80 winner in race number 5. Riley, who do we like here? What are we making some money on?
Making a case for the top weight here, Michael, in Please Mister, who brings some pretty impressive form through last campaign. Doesn't traditionally do his best work first up. He hasn't got a great first up record at all, really, but I was just thinking that with the pattern of the day, has been relatively on speed, and a race without a lot of that. Race 6 on the program. He could find the front under Holly Nottle, claims the 3 kilos, gets him in with 58.5 kilos after that claim. He was a winner in this class last preparation with 60, so he's well placed from a weight sense, and he went around in the JC Roberts and the Mel Vista Stakes, our staying feature 3-year-old races for the boys last campaign, and certainly held his own in those races as well. So back to Kalgoorlie today, hoping that he might carry a little bit of residual fitness from that last campaign, and he could potentially give them something to run down.
Well, he did place in one of those races, didn't he? And for being already a winner here at Kalgoorlie in this grade and carries less weight, you think he'd be brilliantly placed now. And Holly Nottle, the progression of her as well, we prefaced earlier, 3 winners yesterday at Roeburn. She's just improving from week to week, and she's probably going to be our most promising apprentice so far, isn't she?
I agree, Michael. I think she's going to be a star, Holly Nottle. She's certainly a name to keep following moving forward. As we mentioned, she rode the 3 winners at Roeburn there yesterday, and interestingly enough, she doesn't come from a racing background. So a lot of our apprentices going around at the moment here in the West are from very racing rich and loyal families, and families that have been in racing here in WA for a very long time, but she's not one of those. And she's come from a different sort of a background, but she's taken to it like a duck to water, and she's doing a terrific job early in her career and striking at an incredible rate.
She is, but she still comes from a horse background. That's the thing I like about her. She does, I've heard she does camp drafting previously, and she can really ride a horse, not just in terms of a racing sense. She's a bit of a horsewoman despite not being from a thoroughbred racing background. So it's good to see. We've had a stack of apprentices, and one of those apprentices was actually Amy Jo Hayes, who had a bit of a tumble unfortunately at Belmont yesterday, but got an update on her today that everything looks okay with Amy. Unfortunately a little concussion, but outside of that she's come through unscathed, which is a relatively good result considering that she did have that fall. So we're hoping to see Amy back in a couple of weeks, which is a good result.
Certainly is, and she's doing some good things in the saddle as well, Michael. Getting some good opportunities for Peter's investments as well, I've noted. So Bob is happy to put her on some of his horses, at least he has been over the last fortnight or so. But even in review, watching that fall there yesterday, she hit the deck pretty hard. So a good result that she's okay. She's got a little bit of whiplash and some concussion, and hopefully she'll be back in the saddle in the not too distant future.
It was only a month ago we had no apprentices to ride Saturdays because our apprentices are that changing of the guard where our claiming apprentices became senior jockeys, and the apprentices that were hoping to ride Saturdays hadn't quite met the criteria in terms of the amount of metro and interprovincial winners that they'd ridden. But now we've got 3, Amy Jo Hayes, Chanel Cooper, Zephyr Johnston Porter, and hopefully a couple of more coming soon. So it's onwards and upwards with the apprentice ranks here in WA, as well as Holly Nottle, who's had a brilliant start to her apprenticeship. She's only a month or so in. She's ridden a stack of winners. But we're here to find the winner of race number 5, and the horses have just entered the yard. This is the Terra Drilling Handicap, long-time sponsors here of the KBRC. This is a 1400 metre Class 2 event. The first horse we'll look at is Please Mister, who is trained by Peter Fernie with Holly Nottle aboard.
He's a top weight here, Michael, and he brings some pretty impressive form to the table as well, as we mentioned. And from a value sense, I just went looking for a bit of that in this race, a very open race, and not one I had a great deal of conviction around. But he was a Class 2 winner, so he won a race in this grade last preparation over the 1600 metres with Lucy Fiore on board, carrying the 60 kilos in pretty dominant fashion as well. After Holly Nottle's claim here today, gets in with the 58.5 kilos. So he is very well placed from a weight sense, and contested a couple of the 3-year-old features last preparation at Ascot for the stayers, contested the JC Roberts, ran 5th, beaten 4.5 lengths, contested the Mel Vista as well. And while he was beaten a long way in that Mel Vista, he held his own in the JC Roberts and was also placed in a 3-year-old no metro win behind Masterly as well. I thought he could roll forward in a race that didn't possess a great deal of early tempo on paper and find the front here from barrier 2. Traditionally doesn't do his best work first up into his campaign, but if he is able to find the front, given the pattern of the day, or at least as the day has unfolded here at Kalgoorlie, those horses on speed certainly haven't been disadvantaged. I thought he could give a bit of cheek.
The 2 is Flash Invader for Kerry Martin, who's already prepared a winner today. Ava Caterino takes off 3.
Was a winner here, breaking maiden status over the 1400 metres a couple of starts ago. That was defeating subsequent maiden winner Lendonier on that occasion, who's made that form look not too bad. Went down to Bunbury last start on the fibre sand in a Class 1 over the 1500 metres, was beaten a very long way there. Is likely to get back in running from barrier 8. It does look a tricky steer for Ava Caterino, claiming 3 kilos.
The 3 keeper Knockins drawn the outside for Helen Harding and ZJP.
Been consistent, wasn't beaten far on a 1760 metre event 2 starts ago behind Gone Drinking, then ran 4th last start, dropping back to the mile behind Sunny Times, who looks a nice enough horse. So that's form that I'd be happy to be following. But from barrier 15, pretty tough to make a case or a map.
The 4 is Lendonier, the last start winner for Ash Grace and Keshore Duran.
Was a good win, wasn't the strongest of races. Prince of Bondi ran second there, didn't exactly frank that form earlier on the program, nor did Bondi's Son, who also ran very well in that event. Drawn out in barrier 10, this is certainly a lot harder.
The 5, the Sharagini's another last start winner, Peter Fernie, Braden Garth.
Looks a nice enough type. It was a strong win. One of the highest rating maidens we've seen here at Kalgoorlie for the season. So there is a bit of upside with this 3-year-old gelding now that he's able to get that first win on the board. Has drawn a little bit tricky in barrier 14 and is certainly going to need a little bit of luck, but I could see him running well up to the 1400 metres.
The 6, Date with the Devil, is looking to be the 4th winner for Peter Fernie today and the 3rd for William Pike.
Could make a strong case for him. Still been getting home quite well despite what it looks like in the form guide in his past couple of starts. He's just been leaving himself with far too much work to do over the concluding stages, given his settling positions in each of his last couple of runs. But the big tick is that he gets William Pike on board today for the first time this preparation, who's certainly going to get the best out of him. He was on board when this horse won at Kalgoorlie last campaign as well. Up to 1400 metres from the 12 last start. If he can get the right flowing run into the race, he's going to be a big factor and thundering home.
The 7 is the stablemate On Just Terms for Jefferson Tsang, who claims 3.
She's been going okay. She's going to need to do a lot of work to get across from that wide draw, but Jefferson Tsang gets her in with a very winnable weight, 55.5 kilos. She was a winner in this class 3 starts ago over 1400 metres and has been sound in a couple of runs since then. Hasn't been able to find the front in those runs, has only been able to find the breeze, but she's whacked away.
The ruling dame is the 8 for the stablemate, Tash Faithful.
Just doesn't win this mare, and I still think she does her best work fresh, so given she is pretty deep into her campaign, senior jockey jumps on board here this afternoon, so she does rise in weight. She's likely to get back from that barrier as well. I prefer a couple of others.
The 9, Crimo, was given a good push by Mac Hall earlier, Luke Campbell.
Sneaky good run last start, Michael. Was running up a wall of horses over the 1200 metres here at Kalgoorlie. Was only beaten 2.5 at the finish with a better barrier to work with here. I could certainly see him running a good race, but he certainly doesn't win out of turn. He's only won the 1 from 28.
The 10, Let Sparks Fly, Sky Ballinger, Kate Pateman.
Very good run last start. That was in a Class 1 at Pinjarra, and the winner of that race, Noble Connection, has won once again very impressively during the week to make that form look good. Had to really look for a run in the straight and hit the line super, ducking between runners over the concluding stages there. She's a track and distance winner at Kalgoorlie here previously as well. You could certainly make a strong case for her at each way odds.
11, Adele, Helen Harding, Maddie Derrick.
Relatively one-paced mare. She's been okay, hasn't been beaten far in her recent runs, but from the barrier does look quite tricky.
12, Brillant, Paul Tapper, Lisa Staples.
Beaten 6 lengths last start, was not a factor in that event. Does draw better here in barrier 3, so she can hopefully hold up in a better position in running, but would certainly need to improve.
Brock Leithwaite takes back over training duties of the 13. Sabino for Chris Nicol.
And he was able to improve King of France a bit earlier on the program. Sabino was disappointing last start, but his 2 runs prior to that were very good. Ran second behind Gone Drinking over 1760 metres. Ran second behind Top Fun, who ran a super race in the previous over 1400 metres. It's just the barrier and where he's likely to get in the running, which is a concern for me.
14, Pray for Lucy, Helen Harding, Troy Turner.
Good last start. Ran third behind Sunny Times. Had a good run throughout and still got to the line quite nicely over the concluding stages there. Not sure the drop back to 1400 metres suits him here today, but he can hold a position from barrier 1.
15, the final runner, Mariah, Brett Drury, Natika Riordan.
Going a bit better than it reads on paper, this mare, Michael. Hasn't had a lot of luck at stages this campaign. Natika Riordan means she only gets in with the 51.5 kilos. If she gets the right run and clear galloping room when she needs it, she can certainly be competitive.
One-way traffic here. Date with the Devil, William Pike, $3.80 into $2.75. I thought was given a nice push pushed by Peter Fernie earlier. The stablemate, Please Mr. 5 out to 650. Ruling Dame, another stablemate, solid at $8. The other stablemate, On Just Terms, 7 out to 12, and upwards the remainder. How do you order the 4 with 90 seconds of betting time remaining?
I went looking for a little bit of value here, Michael. I can certainly understand the money for a horse like Date with the Devil. Has been hitting the line quite well, but has just been leaving himself with too much to do. And with William Pike jumping on board, who was on board for his win here at Kalgoorlie last campaign, I can see why there has been a strong volume of money for him. But I'm with the one, Please Mister, on top, who brings some pretty impressive form through last campaign. A race without a great deal of speed. I think if Holly Noddle can find the front, that he can give a bit of cheek. So one on top for me from the 10 in Let Sparks Fly, who was a terrific run last start at Pinjarra and is a track and distance winner here at Kalgoorlie. 6 in for third, Date with the Devil, with William Pike jumping on board for reasons mentioned, and the 7 On Just Terms in for fourth. 1, 10, 6 and 7 the numbers for me here, Michael, in the penultimate.
Peter Fernie's looking for his 4th. Riley thinks he can do it with Please Mister each way. The penultimate event here from Kalgoorlie. Here's Royce Newton.
Thanks, gents. Yes, runners behind the line here for the running of race number 6. It's the Terra drilling handicap. We're going over the 1400 metres, and plenty of support for number 6, Date with the Devil, William Pike's mount, donning the same colours that he rode to victory in the previous with Brazen Empress. He's on Date with the Devil in race number 6. Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, tab radio on board now as these runners start to link forward. As Pray for Lucy goes forward, was an eye-catching run last start, Pray for Lucy. Troy Turner to ride, gets in with just the 55 kilos today. Brillante on screen, yet to show us too much in this sort of grade as a couple go forward in the form of Please Mister and Crimo. Crimo for Luke Campbell, Please Mister for 3 kilo, claiming apprentice Holly Noddle, who has a nice gate to work with. Winners so far, Lasting Legacies got up in the first for Tash and Fernie. Heavy Medal for Pikey and Fernie. Laquetta's Gift upset the favourite in the third, Troy Turner and Steph Bakranich. Diego Dynamite for Zephan Johnston Porter and Carey Martin. Brazen Empress in the previous for William Pike to get 2. And Peter Fernie now with the treble, and the favourite Engaged Tia in the form of Date with the Devil. So they're coming forward quick, still 4 or 5 to come forward, including Sabino, who, if you put a line through Sabino's last run, has been very good this preparation, deserves one in this sort of grade. Keep a knocking to come forward as well, drawn wide, Let Sparks Fly. And we've got the Sherigini and Mariah as well from the jury camp to come along. So 5 to load, and we'll be on our way in this big field of 15. Long run down the back straight here at the KBRC. They get the best part of 500 metres to find a position. Mariah on screen, looking to recapture some of her form from last season. The Sherigini was a good last start maiden winner. It's been 4 weeks between runs for the Sherigini. This is start 5. So it looks as if we're almost set. Keep a Knockin' will be the last one to come forward, and is capable in this grade as well. But it's 275, Date with the Devil for that man William Pike, looking for a treble. As Keep a Knockin' is brought forward by Zephan Johnston Porter, who got on the board a couple of races ago with Diego Dynamite. 1400 ahead of them, stand by. This is the Terra drilling. They're set to fly, and the gates fly back. They're off, racing from the 1400. Sabino out wide, stepped well, likewise with On Just Terms, and the Sherigini driving forward from the outside as well. Kicking up closer to the fence is Please Mister, together with Let Sparks Fly. Just back in behind these, we've got Brillante together with Crimo and Keep a Knockin' around the outside, working forward. They were followed by Lendonea. There's plenty of speed on early. Down on the inside, Date with the Devil, the favourite. Ruling Dame just caught a bit wide. Mariah in that pack as well, a length and a half to Nadal. Second last on the inside, Flash Invader, and a further 3. We've got Pray for Lucy, who's just letting it all unfold in front of her. 800 metres to run, and finding the top, it's On Just Terms. A good piece of riding from a wide draw shows away 3/4 of a length, the Sherigini. They were followed by Please Mister, the fence, Brillante, also in that pack, Sabino, Keep a Knockin' covering plenty of ground. The outside to Ruling Dame. Crimo in the middle, down on the inside. Date with the Devil, so Pikey sweating on a run. They were followed next of all by Mariah. Nadal well back in the ruck with Let Sparks Fly down on the inside. Flash Invader, Lendania, and last of the 15. It's Pray for Lucy as they straighten up for the run home, and it's On Just Terms with a kick. Kicked away by 2 lengths on the Sheragini. Now where's Pikey? Date with the Devil. He gets into the clear now, but it looks to be over. On Just Terms in front. Date with the Devil down the outside together with Brillante, but it's On Just Terms. A beautiful ride here by Jefferson Tsang, and goes on and wins by 3 lengths. Second, Date with the Devil. Third, perhaps Flash Invader, just ahead of Nadal and Brillante. They were followed in next of all by Keep a Knockin', and then we had next in at the head of the others Mariah, Pray for Lucy, Let Sparks Fly, Crimo, Ruling Dame well back with the Sheragini capitulating in the straight. Lendania second last, and last in was Sabino. Well, what a ride there by Jefferson Tsang. 3 kilo claimer, brought On Just Terms weight down to 55.5. Overcame barrier 12 early in the run. And On Just Terms takes out race number 6, the Terra drilling handicap. And will return on tote, just having a look for you. The second line of the Fernie runners, $13.70 and $3. So if you've thrown it in the quaddie and you're alive, good luck to you going into the last leg. 6 gets second, Date with the Devil, too much ground to make up with a furlong to run. 2 gets third, Flash Invader at big odds, and the 11 gets fourth. And that is Nadal. So the numbers 7, 6, 2, 11. Third there in Flash Invader has paid $22 a place, if you don't mind. So if you've got the trifecta, well done to you. But it was all On Just Terms by All-American from our cheerleader, trained by Peter Fernie. That's 4 for Fernie now. Jefferson Tsang gets in the winners list. Owned by the Geisel Park Stud Syndicate. Also C. Chalwell, M. Banks, Andrew Ingalls, P. Sakura, Neil Pinner, Aber Hager, also G. Ralston, Trevor Nisbet and S. Lil. Second across the line was 6, Date with the Devil for William Pike and Peter Fernie by Playing God from Thunder Plump, owned by the Gold Light Nominees Proprietary Limited Syndicate. Third, the 2, Flash Invader for Kerry Martin and Ava Caterino by Invader from Article, owned by Kerry Martin, P. Martin, this A. Martin, Dr. J. Martin, B. Martin and this L. Holroyd. Fourth in was the 11, and that was Nadal. 7, 6, 2, 11 interim after the running of race number 6, 2 3/4 by a half. The margins, 1 to come, that's race 7, and that's the Goldfields Variety Handicap over the 1760, going over the middle distance for the last. 15 jet planes not required, 14 to run. Your favourite is Feuding at 2:45 for William Pike. In the meantime, let's jump down into the yard and catch up with winning trainer Peter Fernie.
Thanks, Royce. It's been a Peter Fernie clinic today. That's win number 4 from the 6 races, and he has a Quinella to boot here with the favourite Date with the Devil running a nice second. But Pete's just having a chat to his riders here, because he did saddle up 4 runners in this race. But this filly, On Just Terms for Geisel Park, has now won 2 of her past 4. And I'm told she's on the sale online on English Digital. So she is available for purchase. And the last 2 times that she's led, she's won. So there seems to be something in that, Pete. This filly found the front today, despite drawing awkwardly, and that seems to be the recipe for success with her.
Yeah, she goes really well when she can get to the front. Like today was a really good win. There was a lot of pressure and she done really well.
And what about the runner-up, Date with the Devil, finished off beautifully?
Yeah, he's just one of them annoying horses, I think. He's just very frustrating. Hopefully he'll start grabbing a brain shortly.
Well, and just on the winner, On Just Terms, this filly is on the online sale, but Geisel Park have always been wonderful supporters of yours, haven't they?
Yeah, they're fantastic to me. Eddie's great. I don't know what she's got a reserve, but she most probably should have a reserve because she won really good today in a good race.
Yep. Well done.
Thank you.
4th winner for Peter Fernie. Here's apprentice Jefferson Tsang.
Thanks, Michael. Catching up with Jefferson. Jefferson, you drew wide with this filly today, but it was a really dominant win. Was it always the plan to try and get her across the field and to the front at all costs?
Yes, my instruction is cross, get to the lead and then just travel in the comfort zone and hit the line very well. He done a good job.
Once you were able to get across, you must have been pretty confident in this filly's ability to be able to see it out, because she just seemed to get in a really beautiful rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, he just jumped really good and he crossed very comfortable and very good.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Jefferson Tsang takes out the penultimate event here from Kalgoorlie at a good price too, $13. Peter Fernie's 4th winner of the day, 7, 6, 2 and 11. One more from Kalgoorlie to come.